What's up, gamers? SweetJohnnyCage here, and today I'm going to be doing another tutorial video for you guys. This time it's how to replace your Xbox 360 system case with our replacement cases. Everything you see here is what you're going to get, anything you could possibly need, except for one tool, which, I'm going to bring this back. You're going to need your flower screwdriver. This is just a simple interchangeable screwdriver, 4-tip. You're really just going to need it for the flathead, though, just to pry something apart, and you'll see that in the video. So we'll put that to the side. But you're going to get your Torx 10 screwdriver, the small Phillips head to take apart the DVD drive, the LEDs, we'll show you how to install those too, and most of all, the case and faceplate. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so like I said, I'm just going to show you how to quickly disassemble the system. It's a lot easier than it looks, and the first tool we're going to use is something that I like to call magic tool. So let's just take this out of the package. As you can see here, on this tool, you have a bunch of pins, I like to call them. What you're supposed to do with these, you're supposed to stick them into the back of the system, and it's supposed to pop out all the tabs at once. But I have a much easier and much quicker way to show you guys also using this tool. So, let's get started. First things first, we're just going to take out the faceplate of the system. Just real quick, just notice that there is a tiny little tab right here for you to put your finger and pull. Do not, under any circumstances, do it by here, or else you're going to run the risk of ripping off this door. And believe me, it is one of the most annoying things to get back on. So real quick, just give it a quick tug. Don't be afraid to use a little bit of force. There you have it, faceplate off. That's step one. Step two, turn the system over. Now we're going to take our magic tool, and we are going to stick it in these two little holes right here. We got one right here, and then we got one right here. So we're going to stick it in, kind of ride the wall of the case, pull up, so you pop up the tab, rinse and repeat on the other side, pull up, and now your tab is up. Now right after you do that, you're going to want to take off this little rubber foot right here. This is where your flathead screwdriver is going to come in handy. Or if you have a fingernail, I don't, however. It is glued down, so just use a little bit of force. So now that that's up, you can clearly see that there's a hole right there. Now we're going to use that hole in a second, but there are also a bunch of other little vent holes right here. Now somewhere in the middle, there's going to be another tab you need to push in. I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's right around here somewhere. Right here, so that side's up. Do the same exact thing on the other side right here. So now that's up. Do it again over here. And then just stick it in where you pull up that rubber foot. So now you got one vent off. Put that to the side. Save that. You're going to need that. Flip the system over and do the exact same thing to these 6 tabs. There's 3 on this side and 3 on this side. Just kind of feel around for it. You'll find them. Don't be afraid to poke around. There's really nothing you could do to the system at this stage. Alright. That's probably the easiest part of the system. Now, just so you know, there will be a warranty sticker right here. We already took it off, just for the ease of the video. And also, please note that this is a system with an HDMI port. Our replacement case does support the HDMI port, and we also have ones that, to make it look flush if you don't have an HDMI port, if you have an older system. So, next step. Also with the magic tool. Like I said, this is the end you're going to use. Don't worry about these. Sometimes these don't really work. But this is pretty much fail-safe. Now, another little thing. This thing is pretty resilient, so if you're going to bend it a little, don't worry. Just don't go scooping around. But it can bend, so don't worry. But what we're going to do is we have 2 tabs right here, and then we have, I believe, 5 right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop these 2. And a little trick is to put your thumb over here and your forefinger over here, kind of apply constant pressure to stretch it. You'll hear clicks. Don't be afraid to use a little bit of force. Sometimes they'll pop and then pop back into place. There you go. Now the back end of this case is up. A little bit easier if you do it the other way around. Kind of got a little lost in my orientation. Now what you're going to do is on the front side of the system, you can use this little thing to pry up these little tabs. However, I would highly suggest using your flower screwdriver. So we'll start from this side. We got one. Pop that up. We got two. Pry it up. Unhook that. There you go. Now, another easy part, you're going to take your Torx 10 screwdriver, which is included. Open the bag. It's the blue one. The funny little end. Now you're going to have 6 screws. Pretty much similar to a PS2. They are the silver ones, although on the older model they all look the same. But just for a quick point out, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So just take these up. Now, some older systems do have more screws to hold down the X-clamps and the motherboard. Newer systems have less, but it's always these 6 screws to take it apart. Do your best not to remove any other screws but these 6. That's all you need. Now, one last thing you got to remove is the eject switch. Simply pry it up like this, pull it off, flip the system over. That's what the inside of an Xbox 360 looks like. Pretty simple, a little disheartening as to how simple it really is, but that's it. So that concludes part 1 of this tutorial. Part 2 is going to be actually how to rebuild it with the replacement case, step by step. Guys, to check out these replacement cases, please look to the right of this video, inside of the video description, for a link to VideoGameCentral.com. Also in the video description, you can find a link to VideoGameCentral.com's new blog, Gamer Grenade. Guys, I'm SweetJohnnyCage, and I'll see you in part 2.